So, I've listened to this album, The Unseen, 3 times since we first listened on our YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't gone back and listened to or watched my reaction the first time around.
Mm-hmm.
But I know
you were amused.
Yeah, I was amused.
I was just sort of editing it right
really?
now.
Oh yeah.
Well, not editing it, but just sort of linking things together with the audio and video. And you actually were quite intrigued as to what was going on.
Yeah.
Especially during the first half.
Oh yeah.
A lot of things caught you off, or off surprise.
Off guard. Yeah.
Off guard. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Intrigued is a good word. I do remember feeling intrigued and kind of curious and a little bewildered.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was nothing like any rap I'd really heard, I don't think.
Nope. Yeah.
And a whole album of it was a little bit hard going, I think, towards the end for me. So I've listened to it a number of times since then, and I do like it more now. Actually genuinely like some of the songs. You told me that Madlib didn't like his own voice.
Because it sounded like Barry White.
Right. So by having this character named Quasimoto...
Lord Quas.
Oh, excuse me, Lord Quas.
No, Quasimoto is a group, which is Lord Quas and Madlib.
Geez.
So it's actually an important distinction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Lord Quas.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
No, I'm not saying Lord.
Lord,
No, you must call... No,
Yeah.
it's actually... That's the character. And Quasimoto is Madlib and Lord Quas. So Quasimoto is a group name.
Oh, okay. I'm sure you explained that to me before. Just
Yeah, anyways.
forgot.
Yeah.
So, Lord Quas... so he developed this character, Lord Quas, because... and then he sped up the tape? Or the recording?
Yeah.
Right?
He rapped regularly, I think. And he took the beat, put it in a lower pitch, rapped regularly,
and then sped everything up.
Not sped it up, but then just increased the pitch.
Increase the pitch.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So while I was listening to it again, Kai, I was thinking, okay, so he didn't really care for his own voice. Neither did Jimi Hendrix, by the way. But that's neither here nor there. So I thought, okay, so he's done that, but there's got to be more to it than that. There's got to be more to this Lord Quas character.
Mm-hmm.
So I got thinking, he's kind of like an alter ego, right?
Yeah. That's what we were talking about in the video.
Oh, were we? Okay, yeah. So I was just trying to think, it's got to go beyond just Madlib not being happy with his voice. And then this occurred to me after listening to the album a few times, actually. I had a little miniature light bulb, maybe a 5-watt light bulb go off in my head, and I thought, well, by having this alter ego, he can have the alter ego, Lord Quas, say stuff that he might not be comfortable saying himself. And maybe he can develop this character who he can express himself through the character. Again, whereas if he just expressed himself with his own voice, he might have felt self-conscious. I don't know. I'm just feeling that might be the case.
That's the whole... that's every alter ego.
Is it really?
Ever.
Yeah, I don't know much about alter egos, actually. The alter
it's
ego,
a tool
I know.
just to explore certain things that someone might not feel comfortable exploring.
Okay.
And then they might sort of contrast that with themselves, which is sort of like with the Madlib, Lord Quas comparison and dynamic is.
Yeah, right. The first alter ego I knew about when I was about 6 years old was Superman. His alter ego was Clark Kent, the mild-mannered reporter or office guy.
Right.
Still got my comic books.
Mm-hmm.
But so then Lord Quas, I got the feeling by the end of the album that Lord Quas is a little more violent.
Yeah.
Than Madlib.
He is.
Right?
He is, yeah.
Yeah. And a little more outspoken.
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm on the right page?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Totally.
Okay.
Even right near the intro, the little skit, "Welcome to Violence,"
Yeah.
and it's talking about this villain
Yes.
doing
Oh,
all these bad things.
And that's supposed to be...
And I sort of take that as...
It's Lord Quas.
Yeah, in a
okay.
way.
Oh,
in
I
a
see.
way, yeah.
Okay. And then he opens with, I'm labeled as a bad character. Yeah, the first time I heard that, I thought, what the F is this? But I'm getting used to it. When I was actually going around the house today, it was going through my head, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm labeled as a bad character, no matter what I do. Yeah, so that kind of sets that up, I guess.
That's the most important song on the album.
Is it?
It is.
Even though, as a song in and of itself, it sounds kind of insignificant. In a way.
I love it, but...
The beat and everything, you know.
I guess so, yeah. It's
Well,
definitely... It's the opposite of grand, that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of grand, the word grand and Mad Lib, as far as this album is concerned, those two words are like oil and water.
Yeah.
There's nothing grand about this.
None. Zero.
And that's what threw me off on that first listening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, really.
Yeah, the closest thing you get to that is Low Class Conspiracy.
That's right.
And even that is...
Yeah, that's right. It is. So I got the feeling from... The album's very low-key. There's some big... Oh, it's a dragonfly flying around.
Oh, it's massive.
Yeah. It's quite a low-key album.
Mm-hmm.
Even the songs with a bit more of a punch to the beats are still low-key, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the tone of Mad Lib's voice, he's got this really super relaxed voice. I know from the lyrics, and maybe from a bit that you told me, I'm not sure, but he obviously smokes a lot of dope.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
100%.
He's so laid back. And first time around, I thought, well, this guy's voice is kind of... there's really not much to it.
Mm-hmm.
But it fits the music somehow. What is
so
that?
well? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's because it is. He's sort of more of a character than
Mad Lib is?
Yeah, even.
Oh yeah.
Well, Mad Lib is the person, but you can look into his character like he is a manufactured character almost.
Yeah.
Because he just does not do any theatrics or anything, right?
No, doesn't.
Unlike a lot of artists.
Oh yeah.
If you look at basically every other rap artist, especially from the 2000s and onwards, like this album it's a lot of these rappers are really trying to portray themselves in a way to make them seem great. Or something like that.
Exactly.
Even if it's very implicitly put.
I have a feeling that I know maybe I should save this as a summary, but I've started to talk anyway about it. I got a feeling Mad Lib as a person is quite introverted. The music sounds introverted.
Yeah, well, I've seen some interviews with him. And, well, at least from more recent times, and he's definitely not extroverted, that's for sure.
And I don't say that in a bad way at all, because some of the greatest music on earth was created by introverted people. They can be more introspective, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not necessarily, but yeah.
Like a Nick Drake or something like that.
Oh yeah, like Nick Drake, absolutely. Yeah. So, where am I going with all of this?
Well, if I can sort of talk about that character, I think it's one of the best songs in the album, and it sets up the rest of the album because like you said, no matter what he does, I'm labeled as a bad character. If you're constantly being labeled as one thing, and you just can't break out of that mold and being perceived that way, your identity becomes that thing.
Oh, yeah.
So you're going to just embrace it and say, screw it.
Oh, yeah. It's like the kid in grade 8, and the teachers all consider him to be a dummy, and he just takes on that identity, right, for himself, and he can't break out of that mold, right?
Yeah. So that's what I think Quasimoto, that's the character.
Yeah,
basically.
I see,
So he's completely formed, as with most people, with their external influences.
Yeah.
And on that song, obviously, I mean, it sounds like you might think at the very beginning that he sounds like a victim of something. He's labeled as a bad character.
Yeah.
But he seems like he definitely doesn't mind, looking up some girl's dress and stuff like that.
He is something of a bad character.
Yeah.
In a way, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of harmless in the grand scheme of things. But,
yeah.
But doesn't he also steal or put a knife in someone's face or something? There's something more violent in that song that he mentions. I forget what it is. But.
Yeah. But he does have his I don't know. He does have his rules that he sticks by, and he upholds certain moral.
Does he?
Things right from even in that track where I think these guys are about to get into some violent stuff like against each other, fight or something like that, possibly with weapons, and then Lord Quas says, "Hey yo, chill with that, we don't want no black on black, why are we trying to hurt each other?"
Oh, is that the song where he says hold on, it was a great line.
Maybe I don't know if that's bad character.
Yeah, I think you're jumping to another song.
Yeah.
I got a note here. I've got my cheat sheet here.
Yeah, of course.
We might get to that, though. Yeah.
But anyway, stuff like that.
Right.
Or Low Class Conspiracy.
Yeah.
Where he goes into that, too.
Yeah, right. Well, can I just sort of...
Of course. Go ahead.
I'm going to go through and just mention the songs that kind of stood out for me, that I like the most.
Yeah.
Sort of in chronological order of how they appear on the album.
Yeah.
I guess.
For sure.
The opening tracks, interesting and everything. Nothing really grabbed me in a super way. Microphone Mathematics, I thought that was cool, but the repetition of mathematics, it didn't do much for me, really. It kind of got on my nerves by the end of the song. Although he did mix it up, the way he cut it, he cut it to fit the beat.
Yeah, I think it's
which
a
was
sample.
good.
I think it's a sample.
Okay.
They often do that when they're sampling an older rap song. They take one phrase, that can be pretty iconic, and they just chop it up in different ways. Okay. So I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I do like that track a lot, though.
Right. I'm going to jump.
Sure.
I'm jumping.
Sure. What do you think about Basic Instinct?
Well, again, I wasn't that taken with the song. Is it one of your favorites?
Yeah, I love that song.
Can you tell me why?
The chorus is just so catchy. I don't know how he makes these catchy choruses, even though everything's so lo-fi and low-key.
Yeah.
We got the basic instinct to keep the party locked. We're gonna with the party locked. Really great melody. And the beat, right from the beginning, sort of... Pharrell's known for this, where he plays 4 beats and he loops a 1 beat section 4 times. So it might go boom, 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 and then the beat plays.
Okay.
That's the way that starts, and I think it's a really great entrance.
So you actually, you're telling me you actually recognize that as a Pharrell thing.
It's a Pharrell technique. Yeah. He does it to this day.
Does he really?
Yeah, it's his thing.
Yeah.
If there's any 4 beats in the beginning, it was either influenced by Pharrell for the most part. Well, I mean, it can go back earlier, but right at the beginning of the song when that happens, from the 2000s, it's usually a Pharrell thing.
And the fact you can identify it as Pharrell, that brings you comfort?
Well, I mean, this isn't produced
like
by
that?
Pharrell, but I just think it's like I'm just mentioning it's a technique that Pharrell uses that is super simple, but iconic, and Quasimoto definitely utilizes that technique. Well,
after Basic Instinct came a really good one. Good Morning Sunshine.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Good morning, sunshine. Good morning, sunshine. Yeah, because this song really stood out for me in terms of the I actually didn't really care that much for the Good Morning Sunshine part. But the way it was said and repeated so often. But I went back and listened to this one several times because the lyrics seemed to really grab me somehow. First of all, I like Madlib's delivery. Super laid back.
Yeah.
Really stone kind of delivery on this one.
Yeah.
And then he asks, why the sunshine doesn't do more for people. And then he says... Quasimoto's aunt No, sorry, he doesn't say. Quasimoto's aunt dies, and the preacher says she died because of her fast ways and trying to scare folks to grease his tray. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a criticism of these insincere preachers who take advantage of people.
Yeah.
You know, drain them of their finances,
Mm-hmm.
and this sort of thing.
Yeah.
The title sounds positive. Good morning, sunshine. But it's a critique of certain religious people. Not all religion, by any means. Certain people. And then the last line where he says, I think it's on the outro or something. I'm going to wear shades so I don't have to look at you, he says. Oh, and then earlier he talks about you're like a big traffic light in the sky or something. So I think he's talking about God, and he's talking about the sun. You know, the Egyptians worship the sun as a god, right? Mm-hmm. Same kind of thing, but he's saying that where is God when I need him, and he's not helping people. This preacher who represents God on earth, took advantage of my aunt. You know?
Yeah.
So human beings are manipulative, and it paints a negative picture of a certain kind of person.
Yeah.
So I found
that's a I haven't I knew there were bits talking about that in the song. I never thought about it that deep though. So that's cool to hear.
So I like this one because from start to finish, it seemed to have a fully fleshed out theme to it for me.
Yeah.
So that was one of the best. Then I'm jumping one or two.
I got the track list here so I can follow along as well.
Yeah. Low Class Conspiracy.
Sorry, just keep adjusting my chair because it's like wiggly and stuff.
It's wiggly, yeah.
Okay, there we go. I think it's better. Yeah.
Low Class Conspiracy?
Yeah.
Great number. Great lyrics. You know, about police harassment, police planting drugs.
Yeah.
And then Lord Quas loses patience. Right? I like that where he says, this stuff makes me mad. We're going to do something. Or along those lines.
Yeah.
So again, it's really visual. You know, he's in his car. And then, you know.
And they're vibing out.
They're vibing out. They're having a great time. They're smoking a lot of weed and stuff.
And I think that's where the album cover.
And he
where
says,
he's in the back.
shit, why are they stopping us? All these cars are speeding past us, but they pull us over. Right? Yeah, so just great song, great vibe. And there's a repeating sound that was kind of like an alarm sound or a siren. Yeah, like a city kind of sound, you know?
Yeah.
So just great tune.
Yeah, I love that.
You like that one?
My favorite song.
Is it?
It's the most popular song too.
Oh, okay.
So it's one of my favorites, 100%.
Yeah.
I love playing it in the car, and it's one of the funnest to rap along to.
Is it really?
And I think, it's just beautifully sequenced, and wonderful details in there, and little embellishments. It's fantastic.
I'm trying to remember, is this one of those songs where Madlib changes the beat halfway through or partway through? Because he does that on some of them. The beat just kind of shifts.
Yes, it does.
Right?
This one doesn't. This one stays.
That seems to be kind of quite a unique thing to do that, to shift the beat in the.
It's a very common thing in rap more than any other genre of music.
Oh, okay.
Around this time, you'd have it, but not to this extent a lot of the time.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's just because he uses a really eclectic combination of sounds.
Yeah.
Where he can use them. They're at his disposal. So he's like, screw it. I'll just do it. And that's why it feels more continuous and dynamic if you listen to the whole thing, rather than have these monolithic songs that go one after the next.
Okay. Yeah, it seemed to stand out for me in some of the songs. But I never thought to myself, well, that doesn't work. Just it always sort of seemed to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, the next one. Return of the Loop Digger.
Return?
Return?
Yeah, Return of the Loop Digger.
Did I say retune?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. I just like it.
It's one of my favorites too.
Is it?
That's top three.
Yeah. Again, it's super visual. You're in there in the record store with him, right? With Lord Quas. It's Lord Quas. No, it's Madlib. I
think it's both.
Both, right? Yeah. What kind of brakes you got? By the way, that was a new word for me. Break.
Breaks, yeah.
Just means a song?
I think
Music?
drum breaks.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't know. Maybe it's a track, though.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a track.
And he's mentioning these people. Got somebody
That's right in the middle of the song, too. You know what I mean?
What is?
That little part. It starts off with rapping.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how that just comes in right in the middle rather than it being at the end or something like that.
Yeah.
Because it picks up afterwards.
Yeah, right. So he goes through a number of artists. You got somebody in green or something? Oh, no, I don't think so. Oh, we got some. And then he says, you got any reggae? Reggae? No. Yeah, it's just.
It reminds me of like the cheese shop.
Monty Python, the cheese shop. Oh, yeah, right. He goes through like 50 types of cheese and they don't have a single one.
What sort of record shop is this?
Yeah, that's right. And he says, right, I'm going to have to shoot you.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you haven't seen the Monty Python skit, The Cheese Shop, you got to watch that. Yeah. So you like that one too, eh?
And right from the beginning, you have these horns that are sort of muffled. Boom, 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 boom. And you just hear Quasimoto, Lord Quas go, woo! And then the beat drops, sort of, and it starts off with that really catchy chorus. Yo, it's the loop digger.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
You know what, though? I'm having trouble, I guess because, I don't know, because the music isn't, it's laid back, it's kind of low-key. Mm-hmm. I'm having trouble remembering a lot of the music.
Yeah.
When I replay it, I go, oh yeah, I know this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, Realize, that was great. I like that. Do you like that one?
Oh, I love that one. That's another one of my favorites. This one. Yeah. I mean, half of them are my favorites, but that's also up there.
I just jotted down notes. Great beat, solid lyrics.
Realize.
Yeah. And then Quasi says, I'm sick of this this is it. I'm sick of this black on black, worse than a clan attack. Some people brain lack, common sense, common knowledge, and confidence, trying to put a stop to your whack incompetence. And the flow of that was really good.
Yeah, I agree.
But
the
there
black on
stood out
black
for me.
line I was thinking about is from a different song.
Is it?
Yeah, there's another one.
Oh.
He said, hey, yo, chill with that. We don't want no black on black.
Oh, okay.
I pulled up on the left-hand side, pull out a strap.
I wonder if I got the two songs confused.
No, that's probably right.
Yeah.
That's probably right, yeah.
I really noticed the flow there.
Mm.
So, and the song's about criticism of fake people.
Yes.
Fake rappers. Right?
Yeah.
And that they're just rapping about garbage.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Or they're just not living what they're living.
Oh, okay.
Or living what they're rapping.
Yeah.
Living what they're rapping.
Yeah. I really like that one. And then the next one, I really come on, feet.
Yeah, that's a strange one. That reminds me of like a, we haven't gotten to him yet, at least his music, Jay Dilla production.
No.
Yeah.
We've got to get to Jay Dilla.
Yeah, we should do his album Donuts. That'd be a great first listen.
Yeah, well, you've had that up in the background, and a few people have said, I spotted that Dilla's Donuts. Right?
Yeah, that's landmark album, classic, one of the most classic albums of all time. So we should do that. I'm just not sure if you'll like it, but I guess there's one way to find out. So.
Yeah. Anyway, come on, feet. Come on, feet, cruise for me. Trouble ain't no place to be. Come on, legs. Come on, run. Guilty what he said you done. There's a desperate rising tone of, come on, feet. Right? I love that.
Yeah. I actually don't know what the song's about. Do you know?
I think he's running away from trouble, some kind of trouble. And I love that the tap percussion that's going on. You remember?
Yes, yeah.
It's like feet, running away.
Yeah, that is cool.
And then he says again this reference to the sun, or maybe God. Whatever happened to the sun? It's like, come on, why am I going through this shit? Aren't you supposed to be helping me out? That's how I saw it.
Good point. I've never thought about that.
And then there was the outro. There's this really nice flute, and there's some radio guy on an FM radio. 88.1 late at night FM radio comes in clear. Or actually, I guess yeah. So it reminds me of when I was younger, late at night in bed, listening to FM radio late at night. It comes in much clearer at night for some reason. And FM always played alternative music.
Yeah.
So I could see how Mad Liv lib could be played on the, not on the AM stations. This album anyway.
Right. Did the person, the radio talk show, or the host, did it sound like a real host? Or did it sort of sound fictitious in a certain way?
Well, you know what? Some of those late night FM broadcastings, they were often kind of minor stations, or even some universities would have their FM stations. And if you were close enough to the university, you could pick it up.
Okay.
And some of the DJs, or whatever you want to call them, weren't pros.
Yeah.
Or they were semi-pro. Mm-hmm. And they really varied in terms of how they delivered.
Yeah.
You know, some of them would mumble a bit. Oh, it's late night. Thanks for joining me tonight, you know. Yeah, I'm sitting here with a glass of whatever, you know. So it really...
I've never experienced that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much over.
Yeah.
That late night FM. Not only late night, just some of the stations would only run part of the day, and others would run the full day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and the other thing about that song, the running away, come on, move, feet. It reminded me, Kai, of the time I was walking down a back alley downtown in our town, and a guy came up to me with a hypodermic needle right in my face like this.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking to myself, okay, I'm pretty fast. Come on, feet. So I turned around and started running. And I got around, you know this story, I got around 30 feet, thinking I was going to make a clean getaway here.
Yeah.
And then, just like a Hollywood movie, you know, I tripped and I fell flat on my face, scraped the shit out of my palms, and I turned over onto my back. And by the time I did that, he was right over top of me, brandishing that needle in my face.
Oh my god.
Asking for my money, which I gladly gave to him.
Oh, I'd rather it be a knife than a needle.
Yeah.
You know?
So I know this feeling, like you don't know in that circumstance if your feet are actually going to help you out or not.
Yeah, the brain's consciously sending a signal
to
get going.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a funny story. Well, you didn't explain the first half of that story.
No,
but that's another time.
Yeah. I don't have 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great track. It's a great track.
And what about you? I've written down all the tracks.
Oh,
Maybe
well,
those were my favorites.
Oh, those are your favorites. Okay,
those
cool.
are my favorites.
Cool. Those are good favorites. I cannot. You can't pick much better favorites than that, to be honest. Some other ones that I really love, Bluffin. That beat.
Oh, what did I? It had great acoustic piano.
Yeah, and really good lyrics.
Yeah, I've forgotten the lyrics, quite frankly, but
it starts off with that, just the piano. Dum, 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 dum. Pretty jazzy piano, and then this is one of the hardest tracks on the album, and the kick drums just comes in like boom, boom, right off the bat, and you really just get into it. It feels like you just get sunken into it, which I absolutely love. And then MHB, Money Hungry Bitches. That sample.
I don't remember.
No, yeah, it's just glorious.
I think I'd know it if I heard it.
Yeah, it's great. It's
great.
Oh,
I jotted down there for that song, nice and smooth, but too short. And that is something I was thinking about as the album went on. Some of the beats seemed really good. Some of the songs were real solid.
Yeah.
But then they'd end.
Yeah. So it's something that
they left me feeling unsatisfied because they were too short. A number of them.
So with a lot of these DJs and beat producers at the time, they would just release these beat tapes. So it could just be maybe 24 tracks or 20 tracks where they're just beats.
Yeah.
And the beats are just, I mean, for the most part, they repeat. They're loops, right? With not much progression. And they might just be a minute and a half to 2.5 minutes long. And then you just go to the next track and you just get into that beat. So they're sort of like little taste testers of what they have working.
Yeah.
And sometimes they might take those and actually make them into full-fledged tracks later. For example, MF Doom, who actually has an album with Madlib, and it's one of the best albums of all time. MF Doom released these a bunch of tracks, like dozens and dozens of tracks, and they're just little sort of instrumental bits, and they come in and out. And I understand why that must sort of is frustrating, especially if you like the song. But I think it works, especially if you're putting on the whole album, like The Unseen, because you just get moved around into so many different moods and feelings.
Yeah.
So it feels like, I don't know, an interesting journey all the way through.
Does it feel like you're there with the beat maker, like in his little studio or in
almost,
his room?
Especially when it's so abstract and just sort of all over the place, like this album. I mean, it is cohesive in sound somehow, but when it's all over the place. So
yeah,
I sort of like it because with the track like Basic Instinct or Low Class Conspiracy, any of my favorite songs from this album, once I hear it once, I'm just going to replay it again. And I just get into the track more, rather than a song that's 10 minutes long or something like that. And I'll listen to it once, be amazed, and then put it down for a while. Yeah. So it's just a different type of listening experience, I guess. Mm-hmm. But I understand it. Mm. So those are my two really favorite ones.
Yeah.
As well. Right. And then otherwise, I mean, I don't think there's a single bad track on the album. Yeah. Are there any tracks that you just really dislike?
I don't think so. I don't think there was a single one. Just a couple more, I guess I could mention. Mm-hmm. Just a bit of a critique or something. Jazz Cats. I know that it's obvious that he likes jazz music, right?
Yeah.
And probably has a wide knowledge of music. Well, when he's in the record shop and he's asking for these guys, mm-hmm. and the guy working in the shop has no idea who he's talking about. Yeah. It kind of shows that he knows his stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So in Jazz Cats, he mentions a whole bunch of different people. Mm-hmm. Most of them I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really into jazz.
Yeah.
But I thought that song didn't impress me because it would have been better if he'd somehow mentioned what makes that jazz guy unique or different or something.
Yeah.
It was just a string of names, basically. Mm-hmm. Without much content to it. Mm-hmm. So I didn't find it very interesting.
Well, I think, I understand that. What I think, and that's not one I return to, really.
Like, if he could have said something like, Louis with that hot trumpet, or and so with his funky bass, or, a little bit of a descriptor for each person.
Yeah.
Or some of them, at least.
I think some of them did, didn't they? Or am I?
You know what? I thought so, and I went back and listened again.
Uh-huh.
I don't think so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I could have missed a couple, but yeah. Anyway,
for a song like that, I think he's just mentioning all these influences because his music will speak for itself, and a lot of those guys he just sampled on the album.
I see.
Here's with that experience with the record store guy, and he's not really giving him any sort of what he wants.
Yeah.
He's in there, and he realizes that even people that say they listen to records to the extent that they own a record store aren't even down with this sort of music. So I'm just going to name my influences and then just show them what it's like through sound.
Yeah, I get that.
So that's what I sort of get from that track.
Yeah, I get that then. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So anyway, those are the ones I really liked. Yep. That was my feeling about the album.
Yeah.
So overall, I just think the album was very unusual, kind of quirky, low key. He from this album, Madlib sounds like somebody who seems like somebody who's not out there to. I don't know, how can I put it? I guess I'm comparing him in some way to Kanye. He's like the exact opposite, in a way.
Madlib has worked with Kanye.
Has he?
Yeah, he has.
Oh, yeah.
As recent as 2016.
I think maybe you mentioned that once. Mm-hmm. But just they seem like they're at two opposite ends of the rap spectrum, in a way, somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I get that.
Both
I think
good in their own way.
Well, I think more in terms of just them as people, possibly.
Oh, yeah.
More than their music, because Kanye does some pretty weird stuff too.
Yeah. Yeah, I only know 2 Kanye albums.
But just in terms of their character, right?
Yeah.
So
in terms of their character and how their character comes out in the music.
Yeah.
If I were to chill with one of those 2 guys, just for the sake of fun, I could see how I could chill with Kanye and have a hell of a lot of fun. But I think in the long term, to have a relationship, I'd probably find it more satisfying to chill on a regular basis with Madlib.
Or relaxing.
Yeah, you know?
Comfortable.
Just sort of, comfortable and in some way, anyway.
No, I agree.
Yeah?
Even though, I'd be the same way. If I could only meet one of them once, it'd be Kanye.
Right.
Without a doubt.
Right.
But that's nothing against,
no.
Madlib. But it'd just be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice to hear your thoughts on the album.
Yeah.
It's definitely the strangest thing we've listened to.
Oh, yeah.
Even in terms of songs or anything.
Oh,
just
yeah.
the whole thing.
Absolutely.
So I don't blame you if you don't absolutely love it. I really enjoy it. I actually listened to it before I listened to his other stuff, which is a bit more popular even.
I was going to ask you what his other stuff is like. I might have asked you that question at the end of our album reaction. I don't remember what you said.
Yeah, well, he does some stuff in the 2010s. Some pretty great stuff. With Freddie Gibbs, I think I mentioned.
I'd like to hear that.
Yeah. I'm sure you'd like it.
Yeah.
At least in terms of the music. You might like it more than this in terms of the music.
I thought
in terms of structure and stuff.
Right. Oh yeah. Somewhat more straightforward.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I might be able to relate to it a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the rapping goes, when he speeds up for Lord Quas, I really like the rapping. I don't think Madlib is that technical, or
no,
would be considered a great rapper, right?
Yeah.
I don't hear, multisyllabic rhyming. A bit. There was a bit of it, internal rhyming.
Madlib basically just talks.
Yeah.
He responds to Lord Quas, but Lord Quas is the initiator.
Those 2 guys, Madlib and Lord Quas, they seem like friends. Somehow, Yeah, right. He kind of talks. He kind of supports what Quas says some of the time, or maybe vice versa. They stick up for one another.
Yeah.
Huh?
Completely. But I think a lot of the times Madlib is he seems like the big brother or something to Lord Quas, guiding him on the right path some of the time when he gets a little bit too freaky or something.
Yeah. Well, that was good.
Yeah, well, I think in terms of Quasimoto, probably fine for now. But in terms of Madlib, the producer side of him, I definitely should show you some Freddie Gibbs and Madlib stuff.
Nice.
And then Madlib and MF Doom eventually.
Okay. Yeah. I know you've got. You told me the other day you've got quite a few things lined up in your head. You want to do.
Mm-hmm. I do.
Yeah.
Should be interesting.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah. Well, if you enjoy this Quasimoto album, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And otherwise, just have a great day, and thanks for tuning in if you're here at the end.
Take care, everybody. See ya.